A very good afternoon and welcome to this edition of ES 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Hashni Patrana. And before we take a look at your news in detail, let's take a look at your headlines first.
News First headline.
Sri Lanka dollar bonds face sell-off amid political uncertainty. 2025 salary increase was approved by cabinet, says PMD. In your international headlines, 4 dead in northern Thailand as floods from Typhoon Yagi hit. And in your sports, persistent rain forces day 3 of Greater Noida test to be called off. And now taking a look at your top story for this hour. A sell-off in Sri Lanka dollar bonds intensified on Monday as investors reduced their country exposure over rising political uncertainties before elections later this month, according to a report by Bloomberg. Now, the country's dollar bonds due in 2030 fell 3 cents on the dollar to 49.9 cents, the lowest level since February, extending their decline from their peak this year to about 15%. Notes due in 2027 dropped more than 1 cent to 49.6 cents. Market pressure has intensified before elections on the 21st of September as investors worry that a shake-up in leadership could upset debt talks that have stalled near the finish line. Now, opposition leaders have said that they would look to renegotiate the terms of Sri Lanka's program with the International Monetary Fund. Reports claiming that the cabinet has not yet approved the salary increase for public sector employees said to be implemented in 2025 are false, and the necessary approval has already been granted. The President's Media Division issued the following statement yesterday. On the 27th of May 2024, under Cabinet Decision number 24, a study was initiated to address salary disparities among different public sector groups. A special committee was appointed to analyze salaries, wages, and other allowances across all public sector divisions to make necessary adjustments, which would then be included in the 2025 budget proposals. The expert committee has held discussions with 81 major trade unions and government officials in the public sector. Following these discussions and an analysis on the relevant information, an interim report has been prepared. In this context, Udaya R. Seneviratne, the chairman of the expert committee, clarified that while preparing this report, additional information was gathered from 391 trade unions, organizations, institutions, and individuals. The interim report takes into account the existing fiscal constraints and challenges faced by public sector employees, and it includes recommendations for revising the existing salary structures, along with measures to manage government spending more effectively. The report also proposes a policy framework that includes strategies for reducing government expenses and enhancing revenue generation while implementing salary revisions based on established standards and benchmarks. Still in local news, the Election Commission has announced special arrangements for postal voters who are unable to cast their votes by post in the ongoing presidential election. Now, according to the Commission's chairman, RML Ratnayaka, these voters can now vote at their respective district secretariats today and tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. In a related development, the Election Commission has confirmed that 80% of the official polling cards have already been dispatched to district election officers. The Department of Government Printing has assured that the printing of all official polling cards will be completed by the end of this week.
International news.
And now we are taking a look at international news for this hour. And now we're taking a look at your international news for this hour. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains from Typhoon Yagi have claimed 4 lives in northern Thailand and inundated thousands of homes, the government said today as it mobilized the army to help affected families. Prime Minister Shinawatra said aid is on the way to around 9,000 families hit by the floods in the northern provinces of Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. Confirming the first Yagi-linked deaths in the kingdom, the Disaster Prevention and Mitigation Department said 2 people were killed in a landslide in Chiang Mai province and 2 more Chiang Rai, which borders Myanmar. The Health Ministry said that they have deployed medical staff, volunteers and rescue workers to migrate elder people to safer places.
Sports news.
And we're finally taking a look at your sports update for this hour. Rain and state of the outfield as Greater Noida Sports Complex grounded rendered the third day of the one-off test between Afghanistan and New Zealand a non-starter. Now play was abandoned as early as 9:15 a.m. With no play possible on either of the first 2 days and the toss yet to happen, the chances of a result in the first ever test between these sides are slim. There was a downpour last evening for about 2 to 3 hours and another one from around 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, that is today, which was enough for the umpires to call off the day before the scheduled start at 9:30 a.m. The word from the broadcasters was that the outlook is quite grim for not just today, but potentially all 5 days of the test match. And with that, we wrap up this edition of ES 101's Visual Radio. I'm Hashni Patirana. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more of the very latest.